Well, he's far too modest to admit it, but the bloke I got standing next to me now is probably Britain's #1 car designer, a man responsible for the Lotus Elan, the McLaren F1, you name it, he's designed it, and he's Peter Stevens. Pete, what do you think of the cars here?
I think what's exciting is that a lot of people are now much less inhibited about the packaging, about the way they're doing the space inside. You know, the Fiat there, their show car, shows a new way of sitting the people inside it. I think what's a pity perhaps with something like a new S-Bass is that they didn't follow the route which we did on the McLaren, which is very logical for a people carrier, and put the driver in the middle, you know, because it is much more of a kind of family environment inside those things. It might be nice to see the guy in the middle.
That's very interesting you should say that, because I've just sat with the designer of the Fiat Multipla, Pete Davis, and I said to him, surely you've missed a trick here. The logical place for the steering wheel on this car is in the middle. Same with the Renault Twingo. As you say with the Espace, you've got the Speedo in the middle on the Espace. It's the logical place. Gets over this problem of left-hand, right-hand drive, doesn't it?
Well, it does, yeah. I mean, it saves you having to invest in two different tools for inside the car. I think probably people are nervous because it would seem like a strange place to sit. Once you sit there, like in the McLaren, it seems so logical.
Yeah, we should mention, of course, that when you designed the McLaren F1, fair to say the world's most expensive car, about 650 grand, you decided to stick the steering wheel in the middle.
Yeah, we did, because with that kind of car, the last thing you want is to be intimidated by the bulk of it, not know where the corners are. If you sit in the middle, you know where all the corners of the car are. It is much more sensible.
Yeah. What about the other cars on show here? Let me run you through. There's some wacky cars from Citroën, the Berlingo range, there's the Ford car, something from Honda, the Volvo C70. Does that one interest you at all?
Yeah, the Volvo Coupe, that's nice actually. I think it's a very good job. Personally, I prefer it to the way the Peugeot looks, because I think it's more resolved, it's more kind of confident design. The Berlingo, there's a strange word, because in central Italy, it's a really kind of dismissive, poof, what a load of nonsense. So I'm not sure if they know their Italian very well. And in truth, some of the models, I think, a little bit of nonsense actually.
Ford car. Now you described that car to me a few years ago as looking like something like a teapot, but they've done a lot of work on it since then. That was when it was a concept car. Now it's a production reality. Yeah,
it's changed dramatically, and I think it's changed for the better. You know, it's fascinating. It really is a high-style car. You know, it's really exciting new direction. What's good about it, other designers can now drag their boss across to that and say, look what they're doing at Ford, you know, let's have a go at something like that as well, because it's the kind of thing all designers want to do. And it's great Ford's given the other companies opportunities, you know, to be adventurous as well.
Now come on, let out a couple of little trade secrets. I'm sure you told me once that you could have designed the McLaren F1, a car that was identical almost in appearance to the McLaren F1 on a Golf platform. You need a Golf chassis, you could have built it for about 20,000 quid or whatever, 25,000 pounds. Would have performed like a Golf, of course, wouldn't have performed like a McLaren F1, but it would have looked like one.
I think the point I was making there is that in fact, now that the mechanical components can be so much smaller, they can be put anywhere in the car, you can actually make almost any shaped car with almost any bits and pieces, you know. And my feeling also was that it isn't necessary to have totally glorious, extravagant bits to make a glorious, extravagant car. You know, anybody can have a super looking car if they have the mind for it. Some people, when you look around here, don't seem to have grasped that.